How's it going, everyone? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether the price is going up or down. Over on Dixie for the daily, we did see a bit of a pullback. I would watch if we push forward. This could end up being some sort of an indecision dragonfly candle, and we could see a bounce. If we do get a bounce, I would watch for a break at the 102. If we can hold that, then we likely would see the crypto market pull back more. As remember, crypto and Dixie usually are more inversely related. Right now, there is some talk that we had good CPI, so that good CPI could help us get rate cuts. So those rate cuts may make stock markets more attractive and crypto more attractive, so that could help push money into them and give them back the correlation they used to have. Our stochastic does want around. We do have orange above blue. RSI is pulling back. VWAP does want to break toward the bearish territory. Money flow is pulling back as momentum sells off. So if that VWAP continues lower, we will see the Dixie continue lower as well. Over on Bitcoin dominance for the daily, we are seeing a little bit of a pullback in response to that push forward. I would watch if we break that blue EMA. It's likely we would trend to that value area high of our fixed range volume profile, and then we could continue lower. Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is pulling back, money flow is weakening, VWAP does want to break down. We have lower highs and lower lows, and that is causing money flow and momentum to pull back. This does mean dominance is weakening. Remember, dominance can weaken if Bitcoin does worse than altcoins. So if Bitcoin sells off more like today, then altcoins, we would see dominance decrease. Or if altcoins gain more than Bitcoin, we could see Bitcoin decrease, or Bitcoin dominance decrease rather. Over on total for the daily, we are trying to break that 300 EMA to the downside, so I would watch this. Could try to invalidate that double bottom and make this rising channel more likely, so I would watch. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is trying to push forward, VWAP does have higher highs, so I would watch, or lower highs here, I would watch if we get lower lows. If we get lower lows with these lower highs, that VWAP will end up breaking that neutral, momentum would pull back, money flow would maintain that red, and we would see a continued sell-off. Remember, as total does lead our altcoins, that would mean most our altcoins would sell off as well. Over on futures for the daily, we did break that value area low. We are pushing down toward our red EMA, so I would watch. It is a rejection of the 61.7, and we did need to break that and hold if we were going to continue up. I would watch for a higher low. If we can get a higher low followed by a higher high here, that would need to break that 61.7 to make that higher high. Then we could push forward. However, if we see a consistent or lower low here, we likely could gain bearish momentum, making a descending triangle or seeing a bearish continuation. Our stochastic does want to round away, RSI is pulling back, VWAP is starting to break toward neutral, momentum does want to round with the red dot, and money flow is selling off, so I would exercise caution. Remember, futures does lead Bitcoin, so if futures sells off, Bitcoin likely will too. Over on the 4-hour, we did wake up, tried to hit our higher EMAs, and we got rejected. And we did see a pretty quick sell-off. Stochastic is dropping down, RSI is pulling back, momentum is pushing down from that red dot as VWAP stays bearish, and money flow is breaking bearish as well. So I would watch. If that VWAP rejects here, momentum will break down, money flow will reject, and higher time frames will start to weaken. Over on the 2-hour, we did hit that 300 EMA, that critical support resistance, and we got rejected. Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is weakening. As a result, VWAP is breaking down with lower lows and lower highs. Our momentum is breaking down and money flow is bullish, but if that VWAP stays bearish, we will see it start to reverse. Over on the 1-hour here, we are continuing to break down. I would watch. RSI and stochastic are looking a little shaky. Our money flow does want to break through, but that VWAP is favoring bearish. If that VWAP rejects here, we will see price action continue lower, and we will make that push back down to our 57K. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we did see a rejection here. We did hit that red EMA and we did pull back. Stochastic does want to round, RSI is pulling back. VWAP has lower highs and it does want to make lower lows, so I would watch. If we get lower lows, momentum will curl, money flow would remain bearish, and we would continue to sell off. Over on the 4-hour, much like futures, we hit those higher EMAs, got rejected. Stochastic is pulling back, orange above blue, RSI is pulling back, momentum is weakening, VWAP is again lower lows. So I would watch. If that VWAP continues with lower lows and lower highs here, momentum will break down, money flow will break red, and we will see the 4-hour and the daily continue lower. Over on the 2-hour, we did get some sort of flat action. We tried to get a bullish break after making some sort of a flag, but we were unable to break above our 300 EMA and hold. We hit above that 300 EMA and got rejected pretty brutal. Stochastic is pulling back, RSI is weakening, VWAP is favoring bearish with lower lows and lower highs, momentum is pushing down, and money flow does want to break down. Over on the 1-hour, we do have a bit of a flat trend. I would watch. This could make a bear flag that could bring us lower. That bear flag, remember, is created when you have a range of consolidation after getting a push to the downside. And then you would measure from where you break down toward the bottom of your channel, apply that, and that would give you your breakout if you move the right line, and that could make us break that 57K. RSI is pretty flat, stochastic does want to round. VWAP is starting to kind of struggle, so I would watch. If that VWAP can make a bullish trend, getting higher highs and higher lows, we would be able to bounce forward. But if that VWAP stays near the neutral or breaks, it's likely we could see the bears gain control. So over on graph for the daily, we did see a push toward that support level. We are trying to stay above it. That is positive. If we can stay above and continue to bounce, we could invalidate our bearish pattern. But I would watch total in Bitcoin. Stochastic does want to push up. RSI is pretty flat. VWAP is bullish, but it's flat. Momentum does want to break up, and money flow is trying to gain strength. Over on our 4-hour, we are starting to struggle with that resistance area. We are below it, so it is resistance. If we do not break above and hold in the next couple candles, it's likely we could end up pulling back, and that's where we may see that channel play out. Now, stochastic is selling off with orange above blue. RSI is pulling back. Momentum is rounding. VWAP is breaking for consistent lows. Watch for weaker highs. If we get weaker highs with this consistent low, momentum could pull back and money flow would break down. That would result in us selling off. Over on the 2-hour, we are seeing the struggle here as well. Lower highs, lower lows. So more of a bearish continuation. Stochastic is pulling back. RSI does want to push up as stochastic wants to gain strength. VWAP is trying to break neutral. Momentum does want to round. And that money flow does want to gain bullish momentum. So I would watch very close. If that VWAP and money flow flip bullish, we could see a run up. But if this 1-hour stays bearish with our money flow, we will start to break down. That VWAP does have a stronger high. Watch if it can maintain, unlike that previous run up. If we can maintain, we could push forward, try to retest those higher EMAs and try to break them. However, if this VWAP is weak again, just like that one back there, and then we see a stronger bearish wave, we will see a rejection and a further pullback that would give this channel the full breakdown possibility. So over on Ankr for the daily, we are pretty flat overall. This could be a long lower shadow candle, so if followed by a strong green candle, we could push up, but we said the same yesterday, and we didn't get a strong green candle, so I would exercise against a red candle. Stochastic does want to push up. RSI is starting to round. VWAP is bullish, but it's starting to break toward that neutral, so I would watch close. Momentum does want to round, so if that VWAP breaks, money flow will pull back, and we will continue our bearish trend. Over on the 4-hour, we are overall pushing down. Stochastic's breaking down. RSI is selling off. VWAP is favoring bearish. Momentum is rounding. Money flow is bullish, but if that VWAP continues to favor bearish here, we will see momentum break down and money flow will flip. Over on the 2-hour here, we are struggling with our EMA band. We are on the lower side of it, so if we reject this band here, we likely would continue lower and push to that 2338. Stochastic is pulling back. RSI is starting to sell off. That VWAP is favoring bearish, causing momentum and money flow to drop. So I would watch. If that VWAP continues to favor bearish here, momentum will continue lower and money flow could go from green to red. Over on the 1-hour here, we are trying to break our EMA band, but this could be a long upper shadow candle we're forming. So I would watch. If the next candle is red, we could see a sell off here. RSI does want to push up. Stochastic is trying to gain strength. VWAP does want to break bullish. Momentum has a green dot. But if that VWAP rounds away, just like it did back here, we could see a lower high with lower lows again, and that could start to break us lower and create a bearish continuation. Over on XRP for the daily, we are struggling with resistance here as well. We do want to pull back. Our stochastic is trying to push forward, but it's not very strong. RSI is flat. VWAP is flat. Money flow is starting to pull back, so I would watch. If that VWAP breaks bearish, we will see that money flow start to pull back and get a trend reversal. Over on our 4-hour, stochastic is dropping down. Orange above blue. RSI is pulling back. Momentum is rounding. VWAP is breaking bearish, so I would watch. If that continues to favor bearish, momentum will break down and money flow will reject. That will cause that daily to break down as well. Over on the 2-hour, we are testing that 300 EMA. Remember, we want to hold above this if we're going to continue up. If we break this EMA, then we could end up breaking down. We do have a long lower shadow, so again, we want this to be followed by a strong green candle. We really don't have many examples. Maybe right here an indecision followed by a green candle, but that's the best we have. RSI is starting to pull back. Stochastic is pulling back. Momentum is breaking down. VWAP does want to push toward the neutral, so I would watch. If that VWAP can break bullish and hold, momentum will push up, money flow would gain strength, and we could bounce off this support, that EMA. But if that VWAP rejects that neutral, momentum will pull back and money flow will remain red. That will give us further sell-off here, and we will push lower, possibly toward that 54. Over on the 1 hour, RSI is flat. Stochastic is trying to push up, but it looks very weak, so I would exercise caution and watch for a rollover. VWAP is trying to break bullish, but struggling as well. Momentum does have a green dot, but if that VWAP just rolls over and favors bearish here, we will see momentum remain bearish. Money flow will pull back, and as we're not very strong one way or the other, we could start to cascade down, as many of these time frames are peaking into the red, peaking into bearish, and if they're all in confluence, we do have potential for volatile moves down. So over on ALGO for the daily, stochastic is pushing up, RSI is rounding away, VWAP has those lower highs, so again, watch for a lower low. Momentum does want to pull back, money flow is pulling back, so we do look like we could continue to sell off. Over on the 4 hour here, stochastic is breaking down, RSI is starting to push down, so I would watch if stochastic continues lower. RSI will start to follow and bring price action lower. Momentum does want to round with the red dot as VWAP breaks down and favors bearish, so watch for a rejection of that neutral. If that VWAP rejects neutral and we see consistent or lower lows, then we will see a bearish trend form, and that will bring us lower. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic does want to run up. This is positive. If we can stay above 30, we could push forward, but if we end up rolling over here, RSI will pull back, price action would reject our EMA band, and we would continue lower. VWAP does have lower lows, so I would watch for a rejection of neutral. If we reject this neutral, momentum will continue lower and break down, invalidating that green dot that does want to push us forward and give us strength. Over on the 1 hour here, we are rejecting that 300 EMA. We rejected it 3 times now, so I would watch. We are trying to break back into the EMA band. That is positive, but these highs and lows are getting kind of wedged together. It does create more of a symmetrical triangle that could end up breaking us 50-50 one way or the other. So it could go one way or another. Not the best pattern, in my opinion, because it's a little harder to trade on. And since it's coming from some sideways action, you really don't have very much decision on if it can be a bull pendant or a breakdown. So stochastic does want to push up, RSI wants to push up, VWAP is trying to stay bullish, momentum does want to push forward with the green dot. That does look positive. If that VWAP can get higher highs and higher lows from here, momentum will break bullish, money flow could reverse, and we could push up, but we will see these indicators kind of flatten out if we continue along the pattern as we get closer to the peak, so I would bear that in mind. I would watch if we can break support resistances and hold. If we can, we could push up, but again, when you're pattern trading, you want to see the break up, see the rejection and a retest, then get in on that move forward. And if you're selling off or getting shorts, you want to see that breakdown, a retest, and then a rejection. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Thank you for watching.